How many houses can I flip in a year? By the end of this video, you're going to know how many flips make sense for you, what it takes to grow, and how to build a plan to go from one deal to a consistent income. I get this question a lot. Glenn, how many houses can I do in a year? And the answer is going to surprise you. Amber and I flip over 100 houses a year, and many of them never see a hammer. But we didn't start there. In this episode, I'm going to run you through what's possible, what's smart, and how you can scale from there. Whether you want to flip one house or 10, I'll show you how to build a house flipping business that matches your life, not the other way around. So, how many houses can I flip in a year? Well, the answer is, it totally depends. There are a lot of different types of flips. There's wholesale flips where you're just flipping a contract. There's as-is flips where you're just buying a house and selling it as is. There's houses where you just do a repair. We call it a repair flip. Then there's houses that have cosmetic flip. There's houses with renovation flips. There's houses with massive renovations. And there's houses where you do what's called a value add, where you add more square footage or value onto an existing property. So you can see why the answer is, it depends. It depends on what kind of flips you want to do. That'll determine how many you can actually do in the course of a year. It's going to depend on how much time, how much money, and what kind of systems you have. There's a reason why we do 100 deals a year. I don't see any of them because I have a great system and a great team that I've built. But that didn't happen overnight. For us, it started with our first rental in 2003 and our first flip in 2007. So if you're just flipping contracts, they also call that wholesale, well, you can do several a month. If you're doing an as-is flip where you really don't touch the house at all, you can do several of those a year. If you're doing mainly cosmetic flips, well, those you could probably do 2 to 3 a year comfortably. If you're doing full renovations that involve full gut jobs, I would say 1, maybe 2 if you know what you're doing. And if you're doing value add, it's the same thing, 1 to 2. This all depends on your system, the amount of people you have on your team, the amount of time you have available, and the amount of money and education and knowledge you have about the process. I think the real question that you're asking when you ask that question is, how much profit can I make in a year? Isn't that what you're really asking? Because it's not about volume, it's about profit. So the timeline of your renovation flips really depends on how many of those you can stack on top of each other. So as a flipper, there's a part-time hustle and there's more of a full-time business. What's the difference? If you are marketing consistently month after month for your business to find new deals, then you're starting to run more of a full-time business, even if you're part-time. However, if you're sitting back waiting for referrals to come to you, that's really a part-time business. Some contractors I know that flip houses, they just sort of do one whenever they find a deal. That's not a full-time flipper. That's just someone that does a deal when they find one. They're different. There is no such thing as a flip store where you just say, well, I like to buy a flip today. You have to have consistent deal flow if you want to do a consistent amount of deals, whichever kind of deal you choose. The secret really is not in how many deals can I do in a year. What the real secret is how many can I find in a year? Once you find a deal, you can then determine your exit strategy. In other words, how do you want to convert that deal to money? You'll start to develop a system for yourself to find out what you like best. Do you like flipping contracts? Do you like flipping as is? Do you like doing cosmetics? And you can start to determine the kind of flipper that you want to be, and that will eventually determine the kind of profits you'll make every single year. So after years of coaching, what do our students do? Well, typically in the course of their first year, we encourage 1 to 2 flips, but as people get more consistent, usually most people are flipping alongside their current profession. So it's usually 1 to 3 deals a year as a part-time flipper. Now, when they start crushing it, they're doing 5 to 10 deals a year. And those are the ones starting to do it more on a full-time basis. They didn't like their job, they decided to walk away, and now they do it full-time and make well into the 6 figures doing that. Now you might ask, okay, you said you do 100 deals a year. How in the world do you do 100 deals a year? Well, let me sweeten the pot a little bit. Our business operates in upstate New York, and Amber and I live on the beach in Florida, 1,000 miles south, so I'm not involved in day-to-day at all with my business. I meet with my team leader once a week, and I authorize any money to be wired in or out of the bank account to keep my eye on stuff, and I meet with my controller once a week. How do I do that? You know how I did it? Over the past decade, I have built our business from Amber and I flipping houses to a team. You can't do that many deals by doing it alone. You have to build a great team of leaders. The other day I was at a conference and someone said to me, Glenn, how do you define winning in your business? And a lot of people had answers like when I make $1 million or when I have more time with my family or whatever. They had all these things they wanted to achieve. You know what my answer was? My answer was, my goal of winning is to build a team of high performers. Because when you build a team of high performers, everything else that you want in life flows out of that. I'm a big believer that if you help enough other people get what they want in life, you will get what you want in life. So to grow that big, we had to build a team of leaders, a team of a project manager, people that answer the phone. We have TV ads that run all the time. We have a consistent lead flow that comes in week after week after week, day after day. And that is what allows us to scale to 100 deals a year. And how we can live on the beach in Florida and have that operate 1,000 miles north of us. Before you scale your business, the skill you have to learn and get good at is delegation. It's not how to do the business, it's who will do it for you. You have to get good at that one skill, and that will allow you to start to scale your business. If you're someone that's a control freak and do everything yourself, you'll never scale. You have to let go of some control and help other people reach their goals in life. Profit versus volume. I screwed this up for the first 3 or 4 years of our scalable business. I kept chasing 100 deals a year, and that wasn't what I wanted to chase. What I was trying to chase was profit. Don't make the mistake that I made. I want you to chase profit. You'd rather do 5 deals a year at $100,000 each and make $500,000 than to try and do 100 deals and actually make $10,000 for the year, which I've done before. So don't make the same mistakes that I made. Chase profit, not deal volume. If you want to flip more houses, it truly starts with buying better. And that means knowing your renovation costs, knowing your after repair value, and knowing your MAO, or your maximum allowable offer. And that is, how much is the most you can pay for that house? Go watch our video, how to evaluate a flip deal like a pro. I'll show you how to evaluate a deal properly so you can scale and do it with confidence and protect your profits as you grow. The link is in the description below.